Good morning, welcome to Market Monday. Sorry to disappoint, but it's just a regular human being this week. Well, we're in the home stretch of tax season. Of course, most individual returns due on Tuesday, April 18th. For our California clients and some of our Georgia and Alabama clients, those in FEMA disaster zones, have their deadlines extended to October 16th. Any last minute questions, help with your documents, we're standing by to help. Of course, we are not tax professionals and cannot provide tax advice or preparation, but we can help gather your documents, talk with your CPA. Now that we're through the first quarter, let's have a look at where we stand so far in the major U.S. indexes. For the year, we have the S&P 500 main stock market index up 7%, tech-heavy NASDAQ up 16%, small cap Russell 2000 flat, and the Dow Jones up 1% on the year. As a reminder, the S&P 500 peaked on January 3rd of last year. From that point, the max drawdowns were all over 20%, 25% for the S&P 500 and 35% for the NASDAQ, bottoming in mid to late October, these drawdowns here, and have since come off those lows, but are still down significantly since the peak. Of course, the question on everyone's mind is, are we going to revisit those lows or even breach them and continue lower? Is the economy slowing? Will unemployment rise? Some evidence, like the Atlanta Fed's GDP Now estimate, has been heading lower over the past few weeks, albeit coming down from a fairly high number and still positive. We get the official report later this month. Here's a look at how GDP, real GDP, meaning inflation-adjusted GDP, has fared over the past few years. This little breather here in the first half of 2022, then a reacceleration throughout the second half of the year. That's the quarter-over-quarter figure, how the headline GDP number is delivered. But let's remember that percent change actually represents a number, a large number. Here's that same GDP since 2019, over $20 trillion. And here's that same little dip, then back up. But remember, this is inflation adjusted. If we remove inflation and just look at the actual dollars, the dip completely goes away. And we're over $26 trillion of GDP. Clearly, no recession at the moment. But here's your weekly reminder that GDP is high until it's not when the recession hits. All right, shifting gears. Despite a potential looming recession, high rates, sticky inflation, war, etc., we've been here many times before and will be there again. This is a feature of investing, taking the bad with the good. But don't take my word for it. Considering all one-year rolling periods going back almost 100 years to 1926, the market was up 10% or more 50% of the time, and down 10% or more about 13% of the time. Up 20% or more almost 34% of the time, down 20% or more just 6% of the time, and up 30% or more, again, these are just 1 year rolling periods, over 18% of the time, and down 30% or more less than 3% of the time, and up a staggering 40% or more over 6% of the time, and down 40% or more just 1% of the time. Clearly, the odds are in our favor, but we do have to tolerate these times over here. Case in point, earlier we looked at being down 15 to 20% from the highs. That would put us somewhere in this range down here. That's where we are. It's not fun. We all want to see balances go up. Hearing that the economy is going to slow in the next 6 months for the past year and a half can be exhausting. Bear markets can grind us down. They can wear us out. But we're here now. But we won't be here forever. Only question is, where over here will we be? And when we do get back over to this side, we need to participate in it, of course, according to your risk profile. Looking at more recent history, the past 43 years since 1980, look at last year, ending the year down 19%. That's the third worst annual return in the past 43 years. And add on top of that what bonds did, just a brutal year. But for the most part, we're still here. Did we sustain? Did we give ourselves a chance to get back over to the green side? Hasn't been easy, but give yourself a pat on the back. Let's keep it going. And to that very point, last year being a midterm election year, let's have a look at prior midterm election year drawdowns and subsequent returns the following year. That would be this year. Of course, no predictions here, just history and context. Now, this is every midterm election year going back to 62, about 60 years of data here. Plenty of inflation, geopolitical events, good economies, bad economies throughout this period. So 16 midterm election years in this Merlot color here, and these subsequent returns in blue. Half the years saw drawdowns over 20%, and all of those years saw next year returns gain at around 30% or more. In the years that didn't gain 30%, all except one were still up double digits. Indeed, when we get back to the green side, there will be no bell to tell everyone about it. We appreciate your partnership. Have a great week.